Hello, my pack, my tribe. Welcome to Howling After Dark. Got good stuff for you tonight. We're doing EVPs tonight. Um, we're talking about residential cases. In particular, the stuff you're going to hear tonight is from our most recent one. I'm not going to tell you like any details about these people. We take it very, very seriously, protecting our clients' privacy. You may hear some minor details in the EVPs, but nothing that can truly give away, anyone's identity, other than the people you've come to know, being me and my team. And we'll listen to that here in a little bit. But I want to kind of talk about residential cases in general. This last case that we were called on was in some ways like in the minority. What I mean is, usually when I am called on a residential case, it's not just in my role as a paranormal investigator. It's also in my role as a shaman or medicine man, whichever you want to call it. Because what I do is I cleanse houses of negative spirits, negative energy. And I have done 431 of those to date, and never once have I had to do a return visit. Which, for those of you that don't know exactly what I'm talking about, let me clarify it for you. That's 431 times in 25 years that I have kicked the crap out of something evil and removed it from somebody's home or business. Without ever having to do a return visit. In other words, having to do it all over again. 431 times. That's an amazing track record, if I do say so myself. So when it comes to this stuff, I really know what I'm talking about. However, this is in the minority in the sense that this was a residential case where the client wasn't afraid. They weren't worried that something negative was going on. They weren't at all concerned about it. Nothing negative was happening. They just wanted us to come and investigate it and see if we can't shine a light on whatever's going on there, without that stamp of fear put on it. Speaking of stamps of fear, I want to share like kind of something unrelated. And first and foremost, before I get to that though, I want to say hello to everyone in our chat room. Reagan, Jeremy, everyone else. It is always great to see you. I'm not sure who else is there because they aren't talking yet, but whoever you are, you're definitely welcome. Okay, so anyways, this unrelated thing I want to share to you is I got an email today. I was actually kind of on the phone with Reagan or not with Reagan, I was actually on the phone with Cody, actually, when this happened. And I'm just going to share this with you. I'm going to read you this email because this is you know, pretty exciting stuff. Um, at this stage of where our team is at this point, this is really exciting stuff. Um, sorry, it's the wrong one. Mm. Let's see. It's not the one I was looking for. That's not the one I'm looking for. Hold on 1 second, folks. I'm trying to find the original message I received. Let's see. Here we go. And this is the email I received today, and it'll be pretty evident when I read it what this is about. It says, "Hello, my name is Josh Temple, and I work for Dan Bell Casting in Los Angeles. This may be a bit of an unusual inquiry for you, but I wanted to reach out in regards to a new documentary series I'm casting for a major TV network. Each episode will feature one story as told by witnesses, spokespersons, detectives, and members of the media, with recreations and dramatizations as supporting visuals. In other words, it's going to be like my ghost story. This series is not exploitative or investigative. We're working with Academy Award-winning documentarians to tell compelling stories of real crimes, unsolved mysteries, unexplained events, and spine-tingling encounters. I'm searching for people with stories beyond your average mysterious sighting. I found your site dealing with paranormal encounters and hope you would be interested in being considered. If you personally have such a story or perhaps could point me in the right direction, if cast, the key storytellers would be needed for 1 to 2 shoot days in Los Angeles, for which they would be compensated for time and travel. I would love to chat with you more about the project when you have a moment. Story submissions can be sent to unexplainedcasting@gmail.com. Okay. Now, I know that sounds really cool. I know that's exciting stuff. And obviously, we're doing something right if casting agencies in Los Angeles are emailing me. That is a really good sign. But I turned them down. And I want to explain to you why. It has been my position, as well as the position of Ghostful Paranormal since the beginning, that within the paranormal realm, there is too much fear. They have a tendency to want to terrorize you with a lot of what they do on paranormal shows. And we don't support that. We never have. And so what I wrote him back was this. And I'm going to read you my exact reply. Thank you so much for the interest, but myself and my team, Ghost Love Paranormal, have always felt that TV shows focus too much on fear and other negative aspects of the paranormal, which is actually a very small portion of what takes place. And we have always strived to be untainted by such ideas, and with our YouTube series Forgotten Ghost Towns, to show what it is really like in the field of paranormal investigation and research. And we feel that this is a position we can never compromise. So with kind regards and much respect, we feel we must decline your offer at this time. With respect, signed, Jay Pettit, aka Ghost Wolf J. And he wrote back. He says, thank you so much for getting in touch. What the documentary team is specifically looking for is not necessarily a roster of paranormal investigators that readily deal with phenomena as normalcy and have become comfortable with it, but rather folks just like any other that actually find an incident that has happened to them to be out of the ordinary and therefore terrifying. If that's you, we'd love to hear your singular story, even if it's repetitive. And if you're instead an investigator that spent lots of time on the subject, we'd so appreciate you passing us any contact information of people you've helped that find their story to be something that has been unique to them and that they themselves nearly don't believe. If this needs further clarification, do let us know, but hopefully this will stir something for you. If you feel your story fits the bill as well, please do respond with a time between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, either tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday. That could work for us to have an online interview with you, preferably on Skype. In fact, if you do have Skype, please do include your Skype name and phone number. We are Dan Bell Casting. Thanks again, Josh. So they are really looking for people, and what immediately came to my mind was the people we just helped, because I think they could definitely tell their story. I don't know how scary it would be, because they weren't at all afraid, but perhaps this is something they might consider doing. I don't know. But I will definitely forward all this information to them and perhaps some of my other clients over the years, and we'll see what's what. Okay. Hi, Becca, first of all, and what email are you referring to? She says, Jay, did you get my email? Yeah, Reagan, if you want to tell your story about your shadow man, go for it. Just know that you'll have to actually go to California to shoot and all that stuff. Yeah, he just wrote me back actually right before the show. Yeah, I got a couple emails from you, Becca. I'm not sure which one you're referring to. Do you mean the one with the annotations for the EVPs? Because I do have that. Okay, well, in fact, I'm pulling that up right now. It's not the one. Why is this thing being so weird? Um, This is weird. Okay, hold on. I'm hoping I still have it. I know I opened it because I was reading it when I was talking to Reagan yesterday. But you know what it is I get so bombarded with emails sometimes that I kind of just glance at stuff, and a lot of the time I end up, like, here it is, I think. Ah, yeah, here we go. I got it. I found it. Um, okay, so to give you all kind of a little bit of background on this place, this residential case. Like I said, I can't tell you. I'm not going to tell you where it is. I'm not going to tell you the people's names or anything. But let's just call them Joe and Sally for the time being. So let's say Joe and Sally. They called us in because they did have like some like they've had a lot of activity there. They've seen like shadow people, and they feel like weird sensations, particularly down in the basement, and they thought have you know they had a portal down in the basement, which after our investigation we happened to agree. Um, and stuff, some minor like poltergeist type stuff, like really minor, like somebody pulling the sheets on the bed, or like feeling the sensation of someone sitting down on the bed, that kind of thing. But it wasn't really anything overtly scary, and so I wasn't actually called there specifically for house cleansing. It was just an investigation, but some interesting stuff did come out there, and we're going to jump right into that with these notes by Becca, actually. Uh, let's see. It says at about 7.5 seconds in, it goes, "Hey Mary," and we're going to go ahead and play that.
Just the room, that's all. That's all it is.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to play that again because I hear that clearly. And I want to point something out. We, like, for probably, like, I don't know, 6 months or so, maybe, we've been using apps on our phone that were invented by a good friend of mine that I had on the show a long time ago by the name of Danny. He owns a company called Big Beard Audio, and he actually invents these apps. And there's an app called Echo Box that you'll actually hear us using here in a little bit. This wasn't on the Echo Box. This is an actual EVP that you're hearing right here. So let's play this again.
Just the room, that's all. That's all it is. Just the room, that's all. That's all it is. Just the room, that's all. That's all it is.
Like, I don't know how it sounds to you guys, but that's pretty clear. Um, yes, I did get your second EVPs, Becca. Um, so thank you for that, and I will be playing that tonight. EVPs, Jay, and I'd want you to tell it. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. I'm not going to tell it from a place of fear. Um, and that's kind of what they want. They want that scare factor, and I don't do that. I don't support that. So I definitely wouldn't be the one to tell that story because you were the only one that was afraid at that moment, Reagan. So it would have to be you that did it. Besides, they don't want my ugly mug on cam. Anyways, so continuing on, the next thing that we're going to hear, it says, I can play with some of those toys. No. And then barking, which I believe they actually do have dogs in the home. And then it says, shh, be quiet. And then the owner talks, and then it goes, shh. And that's at about 45 seconds. So let's go ahead and continue this.
No, we're good.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm thinking
Why
the
would
same thing she is.
What?
freak Abby out?
Oh.
My daughter's a cosmetologist.
Yeah, Abby doesn't like stuff like that. It freaks her out. When we go to the fire
Your
museum.
daughter?
Yeah, my daughter. When we go to the fire museum, they have the masks.
Yeah, I don't do well with them either, but I just kind of ignore it.
She says she swears.
The what?
I've seen one just sits on the phone.
That's Bella. This was our first dog.
Okay, I don't know if that's actually saying what is in your notes, Becca, but there's definitely like a little girl's voice right there. I honestly, just me personally, I cannot make out what it's saying. Um, I didn't get tags for the second set of EVPs, Becca, but well, you know, I was like Reagan just said, that she says, I think she says, can I play with Molly or Mary? And this is something I was thinking about today, like after we initially talked about it. I realized something is that kids, when they're small, like like the way that they talk, all kind of cutesy. Sometimes their L's and R's get mixed up, so they might be actually saying Mary, but it sounds like Molly. So I'm going to back this up to about 45 seconds, and then we're going to play it again. Oh, we'll back it up. So the only thing I don't like about Spreaker is like it's not exact when you want to rewind things. All right, so anyways, here we go. Starting from 41 seconds.
That's Bella. This was our first dog.
It's really fast there too, so that does make it a little harder to make out. Um, and I think that fits with the kid too, because a lot of kids talk really fast. Like they almost mumble everything. I know from personal experience. I had mumbling problems for years, years and years and years. Okay, so anyways, the next thing is at about a minute 27. It says flashlight on the Echo Box, and you also hear the owner's dogs barking.
Then I'll leave you guys. If you want, what you could do is just go like this and unscrew it, okay?
Oh, I didn't even think of using my phone. My phone's upstairs. My phone doesn't have that.
Just hit the button on there. I like that my phone's got a flashlight. You know what? I'm gonna run upstairs and I was feeling something.
Oh yeah, I hear that pretty well. And it says flashlight on. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and play this again. It's almost robotic when the voices come through that thing. It's like flashlight on. All right. So, anyways, here we go.
I like that my phone's got a flashlight. You know what? I'm gonna run upstairs.
Yeah, I hear that pretty clearly too. That whole flashlight on. Let me play it one more time.
I like that my phone's got a flashlight. You know what? I'm gonna run upstairs and.
Okay, so I think that's pretty clear too. No, yeah, Reagan just made the point. I think it's actually Saint Mary, but like I said, like a lot of little kids, they get their L's and R's mixed up when they're really young, like around 5 years old or so. Because Becca just said, now that I hear it, it sounds like I want to play with you, Molly. I think she's actually saying Mary, but it sounds like Molly. So that's just my opinion. Because I know one of the names that we definitely got was Mary. And then Reagan just said, and there was no little girl there. There's no little girl in the home. No children live in the home. Okay, so the next thing we got is it says on the Echo Box, go get Nora, please. Nora, please come. Barbara and Bob. And that's at about a minute 45 seconds.
Stairs and I was feeling something back there when I was walking around.
Close the door.
Barbara.
Okay, something I want to point out to everyone that doesn't know my team. The team at this point consists of myself, Nora, my lovely Nora, who's not just one of my investigators. She's fiance, girlfriend, wife, whatever you want to call it. Becca, who lives across the street from me, and Reagan and Abby, who are like cousins. And we all have gotten our names called. And then there's Cody also, by the way, but he hasn't been around with us for a little bit. Hopefully he's going to be investigating with us again really soon. He's had some personal stuff going on that he had to take care of. So, anyways, he's the only one actually so far whose name has not been called, and that's because he hasn't been with us for a while. So make of that what you will. All right, so yeah, I definitely hear definitely hear Nora. Get Nora, please, and then Nora, please come. I definitely hear that, and then I hear the barb right at the end. So I'm going to back this up a little bit and play it again.
Close the door.
Barbara.
Okay, so there you have that. Next thing is Abby here, Reagan is here, Becca is gone, Ghost of J here, and that's at about 2 minutes and 3 seconds in. So that'll be pretty quick. Okay, well, normally I do not argue when it comes to Becky's EVPs, but I do have to slightly disagree with her on one thing. What I actually hear is Reagan is here, Abby is here, Becca is here, Ghost Wolf J. And then something after that. It could be is here, or it could be is a dick, or whatever. I don't know. But let me just back that up and play it again, because I actually hear the word here, like, not there, here, at the end of Becca. So let's back that up a little bit.
Barbara.
I just heard, why are you here to ghost hunt?
We're here to get to know you.
Hi.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute the mic. Actually, now I do hear is gone, so I'm not sure because I kind of hear here and then I hear gone. So I'm not sure what to make of that personally. But whatever. Anyways, continuing on. The next thing that we're going to hear is at about 2 minutes 31 seconds is going to say, "Who didn't call Paul?" To ghost hunt.
We're here to get to know you.
Hi.
Wow. Okay, I actually hear more than that. I'm gonna back this up just a little bit and play this again because I actually hear over the echo box, "Who didn't call Paul?" And I hear another voice I can't quite make out that's not coming over the echo box at the same time. To ghost hunt.
We're here to get to know you.
Hi.
Right there. And it's a whispery voice, too. I don't know if it was one of us whispering. Usually we're really good about that, so I don't know. I've got to throw that one into question, though. But definitely the "Who didn't call Paul" comes across pretty clear. Okay, I think we've got time for the next one. It's at about 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Nick, Paul, and then it says in notations here something else is there too. So let's give that a listen. Oh, and the light just came on.
I'm Nora.
I'm Reagan.
Abby's right beside me.
Hey, Paul.
Jay, is there a portal here?
Yes, there is a portal. That's
Yeah, I just heard
exactly
that
what
too.
I heard. Idiot.
Abby's right beside me.
Hey, Paul.
I don't hear Nick. I hear it's me, Paul. Might just be me. I don't know. Okay, I've got about 4 minutes left, so I am going to do one more on this clip, and then we'll attack the rest of it when I come back, and we'll get into part 2. Let's see. Okay, so the next one is yes, there is a portal with a whisper of "help me" beneath at the end. And then it says "an idiot." and that's at about 3 minutes 2 seconds in. Jay, is there a portal here?
Yes, there is a portal.
Yeah, I just heard that
exactly what
too.
I heard. Idiot.
Is there a portal here?
Yes, there is a portal.
Yeah, I just heard that
exactly what
too.
I heard.
Is there a portal here?
Yes, there is a portal.
Yeah, I just heard that
exactly what
too.
I heard.
Okay, so far this place is like off the hook, pretty active. We have detected a portal there. I gotta say something. Okay, look, I just want to point something out to folks. Try and make people understand maybe a little bit better. It's really hard to be me sometimes, and I don't mean that in kind of like a smartass kind of way. What I'm talking about is like it's almost like I'm two people in one body a lot of the time because I am clairvoyant. I am somewhat of a psychic medium, and I'm a shaman. So like all of that is like one person, but then I'm also a paranormal investigator, and it's like polar opposites a lot of the time because even though I believe something with every fiber of my being, as a paranormal investigator, I've got to go, look, I got to kind of call it into question because, I honestly, like me and my team, we have absolutely no interest in proving the paranormal to anybody else other than ourselves.